John 8:58. Dixit eis Jesus, Amen, amen, dico vobis, ante quam Abraham fieret, ego sum. Jesus said to them, Truly, truly, I say to you all, before Abraham was, I am. Now, there are some oddities in this verse, but they're not entirely due to the grammar. We've really got to start here. This is the climax of all of chapter 8, and it's one of the great high points of the high Christology of John's Gospel. Of course, we're mainly concerned with the Latin, so we won't get too much into the theology, but we have to note that to understand what is happening here, you need to consult Exodus 3:14, to which this is a very strong and pointed allusion, as confirmed by what happens in the next verse in John 8:59. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's talk about what comes first. We get some speech formulas here. Dixit eis Jesus. And then, as we've seen again, as we often see in the Gospels, Amen, amen, dico vobis. Truly, truly, I say to you, always coming before a very important declaration to which we should pay particular attention. Ante quam Abraham fieret, ego sum. This is the real tricky bit right here. Ante quam Abraham fieret. Why fieret? Why the verb fieri, to happen or become or be done in the first place? It seems a little bit puzzling. Erasmus in the 16th century was not entirely sure why this word was chosen. He thought originally it had to do with a scribal misunderstanding of an alternate form. It does, I think, strictly speaking, make sense. It's just a really odd verb to choose for this particular example. Erasmus suggested instead ante quam or prius quam Abraham esset, before Abraham was, I am. Now, the disjunction between this past tense and Jesus's present tense is intentionally shocking and attention-grabbing. And again, that's for theological rather than just merely grammatical reasons. But in the case of fieret and also of esset, there's a further question we need to answer, which is, why is this in the subjunctive at all? If you consult modern reference grammars of Latin, you'll find that there are cases in which ante quam and prius quam should take a subjunctive verb, but generally that has to do with sort of less real, more hypothetical scenarios in which something didn't actually happen. But Abraham coming to be is a thing that actually happened, quite definitely, otherwise none of this makes any sense. It turns out to be the case, rather, that the subjunctive follows ante quam and prius quam everywhere in the Vulgate. So that's a Vulgate thing, that the subjunctive mood gets paired pretty much all the time with those particular words. So we don't need to actually pry into it any further than that. We can simply say this is a conventional way of speaking at that time and of writing for whatever historical reasons. So there we have it, a couple minor mysteries here, but also the great rhetorical power of this ending. Of course, the very emphatic ego sum, ego eimi, I am, returning us back to Exodus 3:14 and the heart of Jesus' claims about himself.